Greetings everybody and welcome back to WagerTalk TV. This is Pablos to break down the second legs of the Champions League quarterfinals that are taking place on Tuesday. We got two matches at 3 p.m. Eastern. We got Atletico Madrid versus Barcelona and we got Liverpool versus PSG. Reminder that Tuesday is $5 Tuesday over at WagerTalk. I have several plays loaded in the Champions League, in the CONCACAF Champions Cup and in the Copa Libertadores. I got a couple of side bets, I got a couple of props. I'm looking at a same game parlay as well. You can find all those for $5 each at wt.buzz/pl. And if you want to take a 3-day, a 7-day or a 30-day soccer all access, you'll be notified as soon as I release a play. And you know, in these quarterfinals, everything is fluid and I'm waiting for the lineups to come out. These usually come out around 1 hour or 1 hour and 30 minutes prior to kickoff. So basically 12:30 or 1 p.m. Eastern. On Tuesday, if I find something that I like in this, again, it all depends on the lineups, I'll load it. And if you have an all access, if you're an all access client, you'll be notified immediately through an email and you can bet it right away. Now onwards to our free plays and our breakdowns, starting off with Atletico Madrid versus Barcelona. Again, Champions League qualifiers, second legs on Tuesday, 3 p.m. Eastern. After winning by 2-0 on the road last week, Atletico Madrid are now minus 325 to qualify. Barcelona are plus 265. So there's a value bet right there. There is no value in picking Atletico Madrid to qualify, even though I do think that they will qualify. I think Atletico Madrid will move on to the semifinals. But you know, betting is all about value. And if you want to find value, Barcelona plus 265 is a value bet. As for the regulation, Atletico Madrid plus 280 underdogs at home. The draw is at plus 350. Barcelona minus 125 favorites. The spread is set at 3/4 of a goal. And the total is set at 3.5. Now, first of all, that 2-goal lead for Atletico Madrid from the first leg is tricky as hell, if you ask me. And let me explain why. It's not big enough a margin, which would mean that Atletico Madrid would just park the bus in the second leg at home and wait for the time, you know, to run out. It's a very manageable margin for Barcelona to cover. They can definitely win by 2 goals or more. And if Atletico Madrid go with a destructive defensive mindset, it could really backfire here. So on the other hand, if they play more offensively, so as you know, to take advantage of the gaps that Barcelona will inadvertently leave at the back, this could also backfire as well. So it's a very, very tricky match for Atletico, despite winning by 2 goals on the road. I mean, if there's one team, or if there's a handful of teams that can overturn a 2-goal deficit on the road, Barca is one of them. So the spread is tricky. As Atletico, you know, they could lose by exactly 1 goal and still qualify. So I'm just passing on sides. If you feel Barca have a chance, you can easily take their minus 125 money line. That's not a bad price at all. So personally, I'm staying away from sides. And the total is tricky as well at 3.5. I mean, it all depends on how Atletico will approach this game, right? We have absolutely no idea what Simeone will deploy here. I'd rather wait for lineups to come out and then maybe have a better idea on what to bet. So no sides, no totals from me. I know you guys want some like a bet on sides or a bet on totals, but I just don't have one and I'm not going to force one, especially without knowing how Atletico Madrid will deploy. Are they going to deploy a 4-4-2, a 3-5-2? I do not know. So again, lineups come out about 1 hour or 1 hour or 30 minutes prior to game time. So I'm going to wait for those. And if something comes up, I'm going to load it at the page. And of course, if you're an all access client, you'll be notified immediately. Now, this situation is good for cards. Atletico Madrid will surely, you know, kick Barca here. You know, they're trying to keep them off, but this referee is not exactly good for cards. He's Clement Turpin, the French guy. In fact, he's pretty bad for cards. I mean, he's not one of those referees who is, you know, in the first bad tackle, he's gonna card somebody. He usually talks to players. He's trying to calm them down. I mean, if you've seen him in other games, he usually, you know, discusses the situation. He says like, calm down. Anyway, he's not very good for cards. However, you know, and the card total is set at 5.5. So I'm not really keen on the over 5.5 cards. It is doable, but this referee, again, he tends to talk a lot. He's trying to calm the players down. He's not carding players in situations where he should. However, here's the thing, that creates some weird dynamic in the games, right? Players think that they can get away with it, so they keep getting more and more aggressive, and this is a matchup that has been pretty aggressive in the past. And with Barcelona trailing by 2 and Atletico looking to defend a 2-goal lead, I definitely see some heated exchanges here. And the longer this goes without many cards, the higher the probability of a red card arises. Because, again, players think that they can get away with it. Players get more cocky, they get more reckless in their tackles. And I wouldn't be surprised by a red card here. So red card is plus 340 at FanDuel. I think that's the best value in this game here, although it must be said that there have been 3 red cards in the last 4 head-to-head matches between these two in 2026 alone. So all of them were straight reds, like direct red cards, not second yellows. So actually there have been 7 red cards in the last 15 head-to-head matches between Atletico Madrid and Barcelona, and all 7 were direct red cards. So and going back to this referee, he's given out 7 red cards in 26 matches this season. All 7 were straight red cards, so no second yellows. Again, he has very low card averages, around 4 per game. He doesn't punish players a lot, but again, players think they can get away with it. Game turns into a brawl, and they're just basically forcing the ref's hand to show a direct red card. In fact, I'm a big referee guy. Like I like to check their stats before betting on cards or whatever, or penalty kicks. And this guy, 19 of the last 23 red cards he's given out were direct red cards, which only reinforces the notion that he doesn't card players a lot, but players get reckless and they force his hand. So I'd be surprised if any US books have this bet, but my Greek book has a straight red card at plus 600. I don't expect any other book in the world to have this bet, but for a more straightforward bet, the red card is at plus 340 at FanDuel. And again, there have been 3 red cards in the last 4 head-to-head in 2026 alone, and 7 in the last 15. So more often than not, we see red cards here. So so maybe a penalty kick here at but the price is wrong. It's plus 130s, and this referee is a pretty good referee for penalty kicks, but on the other hand, we've seen very few penalty kicks in head-to-head matches. So just scrap the penalty kick. I'm going for a red card here, plus 340, and that's the play here. Small break to do some drink some tea with mountain honey, because it's good for the throat, right? Okay, before our second play, our second breakdown in the Liverpool versus PSG, I want to invite you guys to like and subscribe to our channel. Drop a comment below, let me know what you think about these matches. Again, it's the quarterfinals of the Champions League. There is no bad bet here, right? Anything can happen. Any team can overturn the lead. Barca to win by exactly 2 goals and send this to extra time is plus 420. Out of all the quarterfinals, I think Barca and maybe Real Madrid have the biggest chances to send this to extra time. So maybe Barcelona to win by exactly 2 goals at plus 420 to send this match to extra time. Okay, moving on to the next one, Liverpool versus PSG. Again, 3 p.m. Eastern start. A reminder that both quarterfinals in both days are played at the same time. So PSG, they beat Liverpool by 2-0 at home in the first leg. They're now minus 760 to qualify. Liverpool are plus 560. The value is clearly on Liverpool, but I'm not sure I see that happening. So I don't see them beating PSG by 3 goals to qualify in regular time. And even if they somehow beat them by 2 goals and send this to extra time, I still think PSG are going through. So for regulation, Liverpool plus 146, slight favorites at home, just borderline favorites at home. The draw is at plus 340. PSG plus 149, underdogs. Again, slight underdogs on the road. The spread is obviously set at pick'em, and the total is set at 3.25 goals. Now, I'm going with some player props here. I really cannot read Liverpool well this season. PSG, they tend to struggle on English soil, although they did beat Liverpool, what was it, last season? They beat them by 1-0, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised by any result here. To be honest, I'd be surprised to see Liverpool qualify because Liverpool haven't been well, right? I talked about them in my... I actually did 2 videos on Liverpool, one for the EPL and one for the first leg of this tie. We did cast that Mamardashvili 4+ saves. He didn't get to 5, but we cast out on bookie mistake, right? DraftKings, they had Mamardashvili 4+ saves at -135, I believe, while the same prop was, I don't know, maybe -200, -250 across all other books. And I'm actually going for another bookie mistake. I'm not so sure if it's a mistake. I'll just go through my thought process here. But the odds are clearly better at FanDuel than any other book out there. So first of all, I'm going with Kvicha Kvaratskhelia, the guy who plays for PSG, the other Georgian, of this tie. The first one being Mamardashvili for Liverpool. This one is Kvaratskhelia for PSG. He took 7 shots in the first leg with 2 on target, and in 2 head-to-head last season versus Liverpool, he took 5 and 5 shots. So 7, 5 and 5 shots in 3 head-to-head versus Liverpool. FanDuel have Kvaratskhelia 3+ shots at -115, which is a very, very playable number. And if you look at other books, they're again -200, -230, -250 or whatever. I'm not really sure what's the deal with FanDuel here, but this is definitely exploitable. So first play here is Kvaratskhelia 3+ shots, -115. He's obviously a very good player. He plays down the left flank. He likes to cut inside and shoot with his right foot. He always does that, and I think, again, we're trying to take advantage of the difference in odds, and FanDuel have by far the best number out there. I looked at 4 or 5 different books. -115 is the best price out there. So first play here is Kvicha Kvaratskhelia 3+ shots, -115. Then going to another PSG player, but I'm gonna play devil's advocate, to my own self and my own thoughts right after this one. So Hakimi, he took 3 shots in the first leg last week. Last season he took 2 and 3 shots respectively. So he had 2+ shots in all 3 matches. Now FanDuel have a silly number. It's +160 on Hakimi to have 2+ shots. They don't have to be on target. They can be blocked shots. They can be whatever, just as long as they are shots. And Hakimi, he can always shoot from afar. He's, he can take the ball and run down that right flank. He cuts inside and shoots. He's just a very, very dangerous right back that usually likes to shoot. Now, here's the thing, right? I took Kvaratskhelia 3+ shots and I took Hakimi 2+ shots. If you want to take it down a notch, you can take a same game parallel with Kvaratskhelia 2+ shots, which is, let's see, -330. And you can take Hakimi 1+ shot at -230 or -290, I should say. So the combination of 2 is -140 at FanDuel. Again, it's really exploitable. And we cut each player's shot number by 1. So if you want to go with single bets, I'm taking Kvaratskhelia 3+ shots, -115 at FanDuel. I'm taking Hakimi 2+ shots, +160 at FanDuel. And if you want to do, have some fun with the same game parlay, Kvaratskhelia 2+ shots and Hakimi 1+ shot is -140. Now here's where I play devil's advocate on my own self. PSG are, they're comfortably with a 2-goal lead in this game. So it's not the same game as the first leg where they were at home. They were looking to score as many goals as possible. They had their own supporters. It's a different situation here. PSG do not really have to attack all that much. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised by an under 3.25 goals here. The spread is set at 3.25 goals. I wouldn't be surprised by an under. Keep in mind that all 3 head-to-heads in the last 1-2 seasons went to the under. So PSG, they have no reason to open up. The longer this goes without goals, the better it is for them. However, they are not the team to sit back and absorb the pressure. They will try to look ways for, to hurt Liverpool. And of course, if they score 1 more goal, it would take Liverpool to score 3 to send this match to extra time, or 4 to qualify outright, which again, I don't see that happening. So Slightly different situation. We're just trying to take advantage of the huge differences in odds here. Last week we took advantage of DraftKings wrong line. This season we're gonna try to take advantage of FanDuel's wrong line. So long story short, I like 2-player props and maybe a same game parlay here. I'm gonna read them again. Kvica Kvaratskhelia, 3+ shots is -115 at FanDuel. Then we got Hakimi, 2+ shots, +160 at FanDuel, and a little same game parlay with Kvaratskhelia, 2 shots, and Hakimi 1 shot is -140. They're all very, very playable in my opinion. I know you guys want like a big play, like a 5% or a 4%. I don't have one. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I've been really unlucky over the last couple of weeks or so. I keep picking teams that are pre-game and post-game, really good. I mean, the stats are good, the logic is sound, the philosophy is there, but for whatever reason, we had, I don't know, players getting sent off. We had teams that are generating 2.5 expected goals and just half expected goals against, and the game ends in a draw. We had players hitting the crossbar. We had all kinds of weird things happening. I don't feel like a 5% in the Champions League this week. I'm looking to make some big bets, like small bets on big numbers, see how that turns out. I do like, however, some plays in the CONCACAF Champions Cup and in the Copa Libertadores. I have a 4 or 5% lean. It's a lean right now. I still haven't decided for Thursday in the Europa League and another one in the Conference League. I think the Europa and the Conference offer much, much better betting opportunities on Thursday. But that's just like 3 days from now. This video is shot on a Monday, so we'll see how that goes. We'll see how we go on Tuesday and Wednesday. But yeah, before I recap, I want to invite you guys to like and subscribe to our channel. Drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about these games. Reminder that Tuesday is $5 Tuesday at WagerTalk. I have a bunch of like 3%. 2%, 1% plays across 3 competitions, maybe 4. Again, Champions League, CONCACAF Champions Cup quarterfinals. We got 2 huge games there. And of course, the second match day of the Copa Libertadores and Copa Sudamericana. I like several plays. I don't have a 4%. I don't have a 5%. I have several 3% and a couple of 2 and 1s there. So you can get all those for $5 each. At wt.buzz/pl, and of course if you opt in for a 3-day, 7-day, 90-day or 30-day, or any kind of soccer all access, you'll also be notified if I load a play once lineups come out. So onwards to our recap. Atletico Madrid versus Barcelona. I'm going red card +340. I love a bloodbath there, and maybe just a small bet on Barcelona to win by exactly 2 goals +420 and send this match to extra time. Moving on to the second leg, to the second match for Tuesday, Liverpool versus PSG. I'm going with some player props here. I'm going Kvica Kvaratskhelia or Kvaratskhelia, 3+ shots, -115 at FanDuel. That's a mistake in the odds there, at least compared to what other books have. And I'm going Hakimi, 2+ shots, +160, and maybe a small bet on Kvaratskhelia, 2+ shots, and Hakimi, 1+ shot, -140. I mean, that's a very, very playable number for something that could easily happen. So I'm gonna do another video for Wednesday's quarterfinals. You'll find that tomorrow. So yeah, good luck, God bless.